my last video. Sorry. I'm wearing a tire. I'm wearing a tire and I still had a nip slip. It just happens. Alright, so anyway. Uh, in the script, part one. Um, I was talking about how certain things hit a certain point in my brain. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is, I met someone who is in that state all the time. Like, for me, what triggers it is sex. But this individual has the same type of way of thinking regardless. It's not funny, okay? It's not funny. Because I can imagine that that person is in a constant state of hell, okay? And does have a lot of different diagnosis um, because of uh, who, because of the diagnosis. I have, he's probably lying about a couple. That is nothing against him. And, but I want to read something really quick because I just want you to, I luckily, it's not luckily, but, um, I got to see and be on the other side of my behavior. Alright, so we're not going to necessarily read exact words because, you know, I never did ask for permission to talk about this on my channel. I don't even think he knows I have a channel. But here, I'll give you a brief rundown of what happened. He gave me his phone number, and I immediately knew. Before he even gave me his phone number, I knew what type of person I was about to be dealing with. In fact, I've talked about my cousin. I have a cousin that is mentally ill. He reminds me of this cousin, like to a T. And I do think that he was misdiagnosed. But, you know, that's neither here or there. But I knew what I was getting myself into when I gave him my number. Okay. And I proceeded to handle him exactly how as I would handle my cousin. So before I could even really get to the dude, he had texted me, if I'm not mistaken, he texted me like 13 times. And actually I have the exact numbers, because I've not done this to someone who I've never really slept with or anything. Just so you know. But once I've slept with them, that does happen. 11 times. 14 calls and 3 voicemails before I could even text them back one time. The reason I'm telling y'all this is because when you get into these like disorganized, anxious, these types of attachment styles, everything I'm saying is facts, okay? And how to handle it. It's very simple. And so if we all would do this, we would help people so much. Okay, so that's how he initiated contact with me by texting me, and repeatedly throughout these text messages are things that I'm very familiar with. You know, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You're being a terrible friend. You're being rude. And it's like, this is our first conversation. We have not had a conversation at all. This is how he came into it, right? And then he's like, I don't understand why nobody would be my friend. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, you know, nobody takes the time to. We're already kind of socially regressed. There's that level of emotional immaturity there. And the older that we get, it kind of gets worse. So he's older than me. So the older that we get, these things kind of get worse because nobody's ever like been solid. This stuff runs regular people off. I understand that completely. That's why I keep trying to tell people I don't want to fuck you because I already know. You know what I'm saying? I already know. I already see it. So after he does all this stuff, I may stop and be like, "Yo, I'm sorry. I could not get to my phone." And now a lot of people don't like this because what I'm about to tell you is mad crazy. Like, you know, you almost would think that you're being controlled or something because I literally told him exactly what I was doing. Now, someone who has a little bit of logic understands how much time each thing takes, right? I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. This took me about blah amount of minutes. This took me about blah blah blah. So I apologize that this entire time I haven't been able to speak to you, right? And ultimately, what he reminded me of was like my daughter when my daughter was really young. They don't have that. They don't understand that what you're doing takes time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can rationalize that sometimes. But even then, sometimes I can't when the mind has been running the show for too long. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, hopefully every day that I'm saying makes sense because I can feel myself jumping back and forth, but it's just because I'm excited to show you something. So, this is how he started his first interaction. Um, then he sent me a picture. Okay, I did not ask for this picture. He sent me a picture, and then he goes on to tell me that I'm rude because I'm not sending a picture back. And I went through the motions of, well, I didn't ask for a picture. If I would have asked for a picture and then didn't send something back, then it would have been rude. You're right, but I'm not going to be sending you no picture. You have to first maintain your boundaries. That's the first thing. So establish and maintain your boundaries. Um, if you are comfortable enough with running down what it is that you're doing, so that they are understanding that you're not ignoring them. I'm not ignoring you. I saw, but I wasn't able to get to my phone because I was doing X, Y, and Z. But I'm here now. Sorry it took me so long to get here. Blah blah. Um, and then establishing boundaries. Then it occurred to him that we're not about to be dating. So then he went off and he was really upset about that for a while. And he, you know, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm. Then he went into a whole dialogue about harming himself. He's gonna harm himself. He's not gonna be here tomorrow. And I did not entertain that for long. I said, you know what? You know, I don't think you're gonna kill yourself. I do believe that you'll be here in the morning, but I do also understand if you would not be able to handle your suffering anymore, and we're not here in the morning. That's what I said. All right. So that I went on, and he finally calmed down and he apologized. After every single one of these, he apologized. I do the same thing. I know exactly what's happening. I do the same thing. Oh my god, I'm so sorry that I just flipped out. Blah blah blah. Right. It's okay. So then, he wanted to call me. I need to call you. I need to speak to you right now. Unfortunately, I cannot speak to you right now. I am doing X, Y, and Z, and it is not a good time to speak. But I am more than willing to give you a call at this time. Okay? He don't want to hear none of that. We're not friends because you won't talk to me when I want to. I apologize. I cannot speak right now. I want to give you my full attention, and now is not the time. You would be more offended if I picked up the phone to call you right now. So I will call you at this time. Okay? So he didn't like that. Blah, blah, blah. You're a bad friend. You're not my friend. Blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I am your friend. Good friends want to provide full attention to who they're speaking to. So I can't divide my attention to you right now. You're welcome to text me, and when I'm available, I will text you back. But I cannot talk on the phone right now. But I will call you at this time. Bam. Stop bothering me. And he's not bothering me. He's not bothering me. Just I use the word for term the sake of if you're texting me 15 times in a row before I even text you once, which happened multiple times because I'm actively busy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I do give him a call at the time that I said I was going to call him. In fact, there came a point where he said that he didn't want to talk to me because I wasn't talking to him when I was texting him back, but he just, I wasn't giving him exactly what he wanted, and this is normal. This is normal in the parameters of the mental illness itself. Okay, it's normal in the parameters of the attachment style itself. Like, your brain is stuck in childhood and in child mode. And as a child, sometimes either you were given into or you weren't. So you grow up with these, like, however your brain thinks that something's supposed to happen. Like, the reason I'm fucked up is my mom didn't do X, Y, and Z for me. Well, then you think, like, everybody else is supposed to do that. And they're supposed to respond in that same manner. It's almost as if watching, I just said it's like watching my daughter when she was a baby and having no understanding whatsoever. Just when I cry, you answer. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. So I called him. We spoke. We spoke for an hour and a half, and I let him know as we were getting towards the end of the call that, I'm going to have to get off the phone here in a few minutes because I have other things that I need to tend to. But it was wonderful talking to you. How about we schedule another day to speak? He was mad. Like, I can't call you. I said, oh no, you're totally welcome to call me. I just can't guarantee you that when you call me, I'm going to answer. So I want to make sure that I can schedule you into my routine and into my schedule and make sure that I have guaranteed time to speak to you. So that way you don't have to, like, call me a whole bunch and never get an answer and get your feelings hurt, even though I'm not intentionally trying to hurt you. He hated that. He was mad. He hung up on me. Few hours goes by. I'm so sorry I did that. I'm sorry. I think I was just cranky. Um, I would really, you could tell me what time you want to call me on what day. I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. Um, but then he goes on to do this, and he's calling me and calling me and calling me, and I'm like in the bathtub or something, and I can see him calling me, but I can't talk because I'm in the bathtub. And he's texting, "You're being a weird, rude friend. I said I was sorry. I'm so blah, blah, yeah." And I was like, actually, let's just put this in perspective. You hung up on me. You were actually disrespectful to me. But I'm still here, and I will call you on this day at this time. Okay, and we go from there. Then he starts texting me before even 7 o'clock in the morning. Hello, respond. Hello, respond. Hello, respond. And it's fine. I'm okay with all this. This is not making my blood boil or anything. I just told him, hey, we don't really know each other like that. It's kind of inappropriate for you to be, you know, asking me to contact you this early in the morning. I'm going to take care of my kids now, get my child ready for school, so I won't be texting back. You're being rude to me. You need to apologize to me right now. Well, I will not be apologizing to you because I've told you exactly what I'm doing and why I can't call. If you do not like that, I want you to ask God for patience or some shit. I said some shit like that. I know this is like long and drawn out, but it's so important because this is over the course of 4 days. I call him again at the time that I promised that I would call, and we spoke again. I'm so sorry about all that. It's okay. I won't do it again. Actually, you have a mental illness and you might actually do it again. But I just want you to know that that's okay. We're going to work through this, and, you got a friend. You're fine. We talked about our issues, and I told him, like, there was one time I called somebody and texted them like 100 times within a few days. This was many years ago, but just to let you know, I do understand, what you're going through here, and again, the reason that I keep scheduling times to talk to you is because that way you know for a fact that you will be heard and I will speak to you and you won't have your calls ignored and things like that. I said it. He has not called back. He has not texted. But he said, okay, I will talk to you on our next day. It took 4 days. Like, just imagine if everybody functioned that way when they spoke to someone. See, the reason that I did it that way, though, is because that's exactly how I wanted to be regarded. So I just regarded him how I wanted to be regarded. And now he's not calling and texting me multiple times telling me I ain't shit. Or threatening to harm himself. Another thing he asked me, he's like, this is kind of weird, but I've told other people that I was going to kill myself and they called the police. How come you didn't call the police? I said, well, because I am aware that it's probably something that you do for attention, but not if even if you didn't do it for attention. The facts are that you were calmed down by the time that you went to bed. I was able to calm you back down, right? You thought threatening to harm yourself would make me jump up and help you, but I couldn't. And I didn't even know you were saying all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really busy. It's the irony that we met on the day that he was given the phone number on the days that we met were odd because they're like my busiest days of the week. I genuinely was not trying to ignore him. You know what I'm saying? Like, any other day, I would be glued to my phone and be able to talk to him. And in fact, one particular day when I had more time, I did talk to him for several. We text for several hours. I couldn't talk on the phone because Aaron had a guest and they were just so loud. They were having a good time. But I did manage to text him for several hours because I had the time. But reminding him that it's not normal. I don't even talk to people I really, really know and care about as much as I have talked to you in the last few days. Not trying to put you down, just put into perspective how high your expectations are for friendship. This is really where you're struggling and why you're having trouble making friends. Because if you expect everyone to talk to you as soon as you call them and things like that, you're going to run them off. You're not running me off because I already know how this shit goes and what you're experiencing. And I have a little more understanding than some people. But it can be very terrifying for some people when you're behaving that way. Even I understand this. It's harder to apply because of that attachment disorder issue. Like, I know it. I'm telling you exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm very aware when I do these things to certain people that I deal with that it's not necessarily realistic. Unfortunately, those little wires aren't fully working yet. You know what I'm saying? But it's been very helpful. One, to see my own behavior reflected back, which at this point it's way less than what he was doing, but there was definitely a time where I was way higher. I think the difference between us is that he does this consistently with every single person he encounters, where I only do this with people I've had sex with, and even then it's not always the same way, because I can have sex with one person and never do this, and then have sex with another, and it's really kind of based on the emotional connection that I already created. That affects that, right? But he does this with everyone, whether he had sex with them or not. He's admitted that he even does it to like his caseworkers and things like that. So we've talked about it, and I asked him, like, do you think that it gets worse for you as you get older? And he agreed that he does feel like it's gotten worse as he gets older. It's just, if you have the ability to work with someone like I just did, try it. See what happens. Be direct. Don't ever put them down, though. Like, I never put them down or anything. I was just making clear observations. And we're doing this in text, but I can almost like see his brain working. Like, wait a minute, wait. Forcing him into grounding. But I know for a fact that he trusts me. And he trusts me because he's not texting. It's been 2 whole days. He called me yesterday or whatever, but or I called him rather, but because he knew I was calling, he didn't text me that entire day. You know what I'm saying? Try these little things out. It's not that hard. In fact, it takes very little effort, and it takes a lot. Like, it didn't drain me as much as if I were. Oh God, I got an appointment. I'll see y'all later.